Alright, Jump students, here are some quick hints on how to do this hidden polygons activity. So the directions say, on the triangle grid paper below, find and shade the following. And the polygons are not regular unless specified. Okay, so what they mean by that is that they're talking about a pentagon. For instance, number 9, we don't actually need to have a regular pentagon. It can just be any pentagon. Okay? Now, when it says on the triangle grid paper, that means that we actually need to use the lines that are provided on this grid, right? So if I wanted to, for instance, draw, say, a right triangle, right? I can't just go like this and draw a right triangle because, of course, this line doesn't exist, although this one and this one do. Okay, so I need to use lines that actually exist. Now, that being said, I am allowed to use the lines over on the sides here, as well as the actual triangle lines. Okay, the other thing to remember is that polygons don't necessarily need to be they don't necessarily need to be convex, right? So I can have non-convex polygons. So for instance, let's say I want to make a nonagon. A nonagon, you may remember, is a 9-sided figure. So what if I went 1, let's try that again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so there we have a 9-sided figure. The end of that got a little bit sloppy. But notice the side of the figure, the length of each side doesn't matter, right? This side happens to be 2 segments long, but it's still only one side. Okay, because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sides. So that would be a nonagon. That's not one of the ones I'm asked to make, but you get the idea. So that's the basic idea. We're trying to find all these shapes somewhere on this sheet. Now, here's the problem. We have to figure out a way to make them all fit. So if I make a shape that's really big, like this nonagon that I just made, that's going to perhaps make it difficult to get all 12 of these onto the same sheet. So do be thoughtful about how big you make each one. You can have some that are a little bit on the larger side, but you can't have them all be super big. And then let's say I wanted to do, let's see, I don't think rhombus is one of the options on there. So let's say I want to do a rhombus. And if I wanted to do a rhombus, maybe I could have one. So a rhombus, obviously, or you may remember, is a quadrilateral that has all congruent sides, right? So I might go ahead and slide a rhombus right in next to here. Now, you can probably see the differences between those two because I've used 2 different colors. So that might be an option. You may want to use some colored pencils or pens, probably pencils, to make sure that you can tell which item is which. And let's say that had been item number 13 was a rhombus. I'd want to indicate which one that is. So maybe put a 13 or something inside. If you're using all one color, okay, so I've remade my nonagon and my rhombus. And you can see that if I start having these touch, that can get a little confusing. Even if I had my numbers, let's say this was the 13th item, and maybe this was the 14th item that I was supposed to find, right? You can imagine if I start putting a couple others all jammed in there, that could get confusing. So what you may want to do in that case is some light shading, right? So maybe I can go in here, and I can just do some cross-hatching on this one. And that shows that this one is a distinct item. And then maybe I could use some different shading over on this one. So maybe this one gets a little more filled in shading. And then perhaps I have another item over here that looks like this. Right? Maybe that's my 15th item. And maybe for that one, I do some lines across like this, and then some lines across like this. So I do some cross hatching, right? So I'm making each of my items look different. Maybe I've got another one in over here which could be item 16. And maybe for that one, I just fill up the whole thing with little dots. Okay, so colored pencils can work, or if you don't have colored pencils, maybe just using some different shadings, just to distinguish the different shapes from each other so I can clearly see what it is that you are doing, and then make sure that you are labeling with the number each item as you finish it up, right? So when you find your equilateral triangle, go ahead and put a 1 inside there, and then shade it appropriately. And then I would recommend as you finish each one, just cross it off so you know which ones you finished. Okay, that's it. Good luck with this. Email me if you have questions. And then don't forget to take a picture and email me the picture when you are done with this assignment. Good luck.